I never imagined that the woman who smiled at me during family dinners, the woman my father loved, the woman who pretended to care about me, would one day try to erase me from my own family, legally, financially, and emotionally. But she made one mistake. She underestimated the daughter of the man she was trying to destroy. My name is Hannah. I'm 27 years old, and this story takes place in California, where family dramas are as common as sunshine. After my mom passed away when I was 16, it was just me and Dad. We weren't perfect, but we were close. He was my anchor, the one stable thing in a world that never stopped changing. When I was 20, he married Melissa, a woman he'd met through work. She was warm, elegant, always dressed like she stepped out of a lifestyle magazine. At first, I wanted to like her. I really did. Dad was smiling again. How could I not be grateful? But Melissa never liked me. Not openly. She was too smart for that. She disliked me in subtle ways. Fake smiles, passive-aggressive comments, sudden mood shifts whenever Dad wasn't around. Still, for Dad's sake, I pretended we were fine. Everything changed when my dad got sick. What was supposed to be a simple checkup turned into a nightmare diagnosis. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The air in the hospital felt colder that day. I stayed with Dad every day. Melissa stayed when it was convenient. But suddenly, when doctors started talking about finances, care decisions, and long-term arrangements, Melissa transformed into the world's most devoted, concerned wife. Something felt wrong. Something felt staged. But I ignored my instincts because grief does that. It blinds you. Until one night, everything became clear. It was 9:45 p.m. when I went to Dad's house to pick up some paperwork for his treatment. Melissa wasn't home. I thought she was at the pharmacy, like she said. Then her phone lit up on the kitchen counter. One new voicemail. From Carmichael Law Office. Something inside me whispered, "Listen, I know it wasn't morally perfect, but sometimes the truth requires breaking a rule." I clicked play. "Hi, Melissa. The new draft is ready. The daughter is fully removed. Come by tomorrow to sign before we send it to your husband for final review. And please bring the updated financial documents." My blood froze. Removed. The daughter is fully removed. Me. She meant me. She was trying to cut me out of Dad's will. Erase me. Steal everything my parents built. I remember sinking to the floor, shaking, unable to breathe. This wasn't insecurity. This wasn't tension. This was betrayal, calculated, intentional, cold. I could have confronted her. I could have screamed, cried, slapped the phone on the table. But I didn't, because anger wins battles. Proof wins wars. So instead, I memorized the name of the law office, put the phone exactly where it was, and walked out silently. The next morning, I went to the law office myself, and what I learned made everything worse. They were rewriting everything. The house, Dad's retirement funds, his business shares, his savings. Everything was going to Melissa. But the lawyer wasn't aware I existed, and that she was hiding things. He slipped when he said, her divorce records were complicated to process, but we handled it. Divorce? Melissa had told Dad she was widowed. She had lied about her past, and she was hiding her finances. So I dug deeper. I searched public records. I checked financial databases. I even hired a private investigator for one day. What I discovered was explosive. Melissa was secretly still married to a man in Nevada. She had major credit card debt, almost $80,000. She had been transferring money from Dad's accounts to pay some of it, and she was planning to inherit everything, divorce Dad posthumously, and hand money to her real husband. She wasn't just a liar. She was a con woman, and she picked the wrong daughter to mess with. The revenge plan. I didn't confront her yet. I waited. I spent 3 days gathering every piece of evidence. Heavy checkmark, bank, transfer screenshots. Heavy checkmark, public marriage records. Heavy checkmark, the voicemail. Heavy checkmark, emails from the lawyer. Heavy checkmark, photocopies of drafts she'd left in the office. Heavy checkmark, receipts of her using Dad's credit cards for her husband. Heavy checkmark, a notarized statement from the PI. Then, I went to Dad. He was weak, but his mind was sharp as ever. I sat beside him on the hospital bed and told him everything. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He didn't deny it. He closed his eyes and whispered, "I thought she loved me." "No, Dad," I said quietly. "She loved what you had." He nodded once, took my hand, and said the words that fueled everything I did next. "Do what you need to do, Hannah." And so I did. The exposure. That evening, Melissa arrived at the hospital with fake tears and a bag of takeout she hadn't cooked. Dad asked her to call a family meeting the next morning at the house with everyone present. She said yes instantly, thinking this was the moment she would push the will signing. Little did she know, the next morning, the living room was silent when I walked in with a folder thicker than a textbook. Dad sat beside me. 2 of our relatives joined on Zoom, and Melissa sauntered in, acting like she was the queen of the room. Then Dad said, "Hannah has something to share." I stood up, and I pressed play. Her voicemail echoed through the room. "The daughter is fully removed." Melissa's face drained of color. Then I laid out the documents one by one. Page 1, proof of her secret marriage. Page 2, her debts. Page 3, bank transfers. Page 4, spending Dad's money on her husband. Page 5, draft of the rewritten will. Page 6, proof of fraud. Page 7, proof of identity manipulation. She tried to speak, but Dad cut her off. Enough. The quiet in the room was suffocating. Melissa started crying, not real tears, but panicked, desperate ones. "This is a misunderstanding." "No," I said calmly. "This is who you are." Dad looked at her with the saddest eyes I'd ever seen. "Get out of my house." She begged. She screamed. She threatened. Then she tried to manipulate him with guilt, but Dad didn't budge. He signed his updated will that day with me and 2 relatives as witnesses. Melissa got nothing, not even the car. And because we had enough evidence of financial fraud, her name was added to a legal complaint. She didn't just lose money. She lost her image, her lies, her safety net, her marriage, her new future. All because she tried to erase me. Dad passed away 6 months later, peacefully, holding my hand. I kept the house, not because I wanted the property, but because every corner held a memory of him. As for Melissa, she moved states, drowning in debt, abandoned by the man she had secretly married. But here's the real. Every time she looks at her ruined life, she knows. I didn't destroy her. She destroyed herself. I just turned on the light so everyone could finally see the truth. If you want more powerful USA-based revenge stories about family betrayal, secrets, justice, and karma, make sure you follow, subscribe, and share. Your support helps me bring more real emotions and powerful stories to life.